Hi everyone, welcome to the second video in our game analysis series where users can submit their games on chessgoals.com for analysis. This game is being played by user k0nkav, and k0nkav is on the beginner study plan. They've been doing the plan for about 12 days now, and they're playing the black pieces. k0nkav is rated 1082, their opponent's rated 1467. If you like this video, please make sure to click the thumbs up below the video and also subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos are posted. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go through the game without the engine and just sort of take notes on things that we see throughout the game. So we have a Sicilian defense, 2d4. This can sometimes be called the Smith-Morra gambit. And usually with the Smith-Morra gambit you see move 3, c3, but here white decided to play queen takes d4. So the downside of queen takes d4 is it puts the queen in the center early, and this queen can actually be attacked by the knight coming out to c6, which develops and gains a tempi on the queen. So that's what k0nkav does. Queen e3 and knight f6. So this is very good. We're getting the pieces developed quickly. g6 to bring out the dark square bishop next. k0nkav the bishop. One thing to keep in mind is sometimes white can play for e5, attacking the knight on f6. So we have to be aware, if white plays e5, where do we want to move the knight? And in this case the knight can move to g4, and we might actually win the e5 pawn because the knight from g4 will be forking the queen and the pawn on e5. So we're still good here if white plays e5, but that's something to keep in mind. Knight f3, knight b4. Okay, I see the fork threat here. Knight takes c2. But one thing to note is you have to be careful moving pieces twice in the opening. So I'll just put a quick note here. Careful moving pieces twice in the opening. Queen e2, a6. Bishop d3, d5, fighting for the center. I do think it's important to get castled here though, so I'm going to make another note. Castling before opening the center is preferable. And the reason for that is because if the center opens up, this black king could get attacked pretty quickly. So we have e takes d, knight takes d5, knight takes, white castles, e6, c3, bishop takes c3. Okay, this looks a bit risky. After bishop takes c3, pawn takes c3, knight takes c3, we just lost a bishop, which is worth 3 points. So this guy is worth 3 points, and we only gained 2 pawns in return. So we got the b pawn and the c pawn. Those are worth 2 points total. So really we're coming out behind on that trade, and our king is still in the center. So this is a counting exercise. So we want to count out how much material are we gaining and how much material is the opponent getting. So after this series of trades, white is actually up a piece for 2 pawns, and our king is still in the center. So this would be a good time to castle. Okay, now after rook g8 we lost castling. So this will be something that we'll probably mark in the takeaways at the end, castling sooner. And I'm putting in the notes, look to castle early. Rook a to d1, f5, rook f to e1, queen b6, bishop c4. So now we see the rook on e1 is creating this pin on the e6 pawn, and the knight's attacked on d5. So now there's some tactical issues, and we're still not developed with this rook on a8 and the bishop on c8. Yeah, and it looks like now we're dropping the queen, but I think at this point, like the learning points come a bit sooner in the game, but we'll still play through the rest. Bishop d7, take the pawn, take the rook with check, and it looks like mating attack is coming next. So bishop to e8, queen takes e8 mate. Alright, so now let's play through this with the engine and just take a look and see what Stockfish thinks. So what we're looking for here is we want to see when this gray dot changes color. That lets us know that there was a possible mistake that we need to look at, or a critical moment. Green dot means a good move was played. Yellow dot means a mistake. Red dot usually means a blunder. So g6, it's giving a yellow dot. I think that move is still okay, getting developed. Yeah, so here we see moving the knight to b4 gives white a very small advantage after queen e2. I don't think we need to focus too much on this move, but the point is get all the pieces developed first before moving pieces twice, unless there's a good tactical reason to move a piece twice. That was a mistake by white. Looks like bishop to a4 would have been a better move. So on d3, that bishop is trapped between two pawns, so it's not very effective. All these moves look good, k0nkav. e6. Alright, so here we need to castle. And then that was a counting error on taking c3. And after this point, I don't think there was really any chance to come back into the game. White did a really good job playing solid, increasing the initiative, and finding the checkmate when it was there. So I think the final notes for this game, we'll pause Stockfish. The key takeaways for improving: castle more quickly, and don't move minor pieces twice until others are developed. And there are some exceptions to these rules, but that's just a general rule. Whenever you're moving a minor piece for a second time or even a third time, look to make sure there's a really good reason behind it if you have other minor pieces to develop and your king is not castled. So if you get your minor pieces out early, get castled quickly, that'll really help you out in terms of having a solid middle game going forward. And the positive takeaway is, I think the first, let's say, 6 moves, great job developing. So just carry that on a couple more moves. And also, I thought you did a good job tactically outside of a couple key tactics. So the bishop takes c3 move was a mistake, and dropping the queen was a blunder. But otherwise, keep working on tactics, looking solid for your rating. So you played someone 400 points higher. I think you did a good job. You were in the game. And just kind of remember these key takeaways going forward. So one cool thing with k0nkav is this player posts about their chess goals study plan every single day. So every single day they're in the forums on chess.com. They post a little checklist. They check off each activity as they do them. And I think they're one of the most consistent users in terms of following the study plan that I've seen in the forums. So keep up the good work, k0nkav. And remember, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to be notified when more videos are posted. And check the links in the description below. I'll talk about game analysis and link to a couple blog posts. So be sure to check those out.